The Orlando Magic will host the Houston Rockets in a matchup that nobody was checking for. Come on, let's just be honest about it. Nobody would be checking for this matchup last season. However, this season, we're talking about two sleeper teams, and I cannot wait to watch them go head to head. What about you?
I think this is the start of, because since they've always, for multiple seasons, have been at the bottom of their conferences, for me, this is a race to who will get out at the bottom. This is the start of that. And both of these
Yeah.
teams have the potential to move up in the standings just off of sheer roster construction. And I think that for the Rockets alone, their coach, Ime Udoka, him,
Hello.
it's the possibilities of being in a play-in tournament between 7 and 10 can be great for them. If they just hone into what his defensive requirements are, I think they'll be pretty good. I think that this is both teams for me in this game appear to be equally matched in a sense. If you look at the rosters and you compare them together, they appear to be equally matched. Now we'll see how that plays out once the game starts. But yeah.
I'm looking forward to that Dylan Brooks and Franz Wagner matchup. We're talking about two physical players get into your jersey. Neither one of them are going to back down.
Okay.
But they're important to their teams for different reasons. Obviously, Dylan is a villain. He's a villain on defense.
Mm-hmm.
You got Franz Wagner, who he's a pretty good defender too, but they need his offensive punch. I'm just like, oh man, that matchup right there, that's what I'm going to have my eyes on. Can't wait to see it. Two young emerging teams in the NBA. And I just, I think we have to be honest and say that last season, nobody would be tuning into this game.
You know what? And if you're not in their market and you don't have League Pass, you're not going to tune in today either. So
Uh-oh.
this really, because it's not a nationally televised game.
Yeah.
So it's one of those games where you have to really like the game of basketball, really enjoy watching the Rockets and or the Orlando Magic play in order to tune into this game. But if you don't start watching them now, you're going to miss out, and you're going to be late to the party when we're talking about by the end of the season. And we realize how far these teams have come, but you've missed all of the hard work and great basketball at the top of the season. I think you have, if you want to watch the Orlando Magic and the Houston Rockets, start watching them now if you didn't watch them last season, because what we're going to see this season from both of them is going to be something that's going to be life-changing. And like we mentioned, it's going to be sleeper teams, right? Sleeper teams are those teams where if you're not watching, you'll look up and your favorite team will be at the bottom because they've already secured their spot. So you shouldn't miss it, because I know I won't. So yeah.
Right. Now, last season for the Rockets, Kevin Porter Jr. was their second leading scorer behind Jalen Green. Obviously, they won't have him this season. So I'm looking for Jabari Smith Jr. to fill that gap. What does that look like? I think Jabari Smith Jr. can take a leap this season because I was really impressed with him last season. And now that he has Coach Udoka to kind of, egg him on, get him playing both sides of the basketball, pick up the pace. You got Fred VanVleet running the offense. Oh man, Jabari Smith, he has some serious potential. I really like that young fella.
Yeah, one of the things I'm looking forward to, I want to see how will Coach Ime Udoka help develop Ahmed Thompson. What will that look like? That rookie has a lot to offer to the league. And I know he played in the preseason, but when he's playing in the regular season, I think the game is going to speed up for him, and how will that look now that he is playing for the professional league? And can he still showcase his talent enough where he doesn't get left behind? And will the Houston Rockets organization help develop him along the way? Because I know I'm quite sure he'll be coming off the bench, and it's only right that he does, at least for the first half of the season. And if he can prove that he is a starter in this league, then he may get more minutes. But I think he has an opportunity. And will the Houston Rockets commit to developing him? And I hope that they do. Because, sometimes some of these rookies get on these teams and they don't get developed. So their talent is wasted for 2 or 3 seasons. And I hope that doesn't happen for him, because I think he has a lot to offer to their organization.
Yeah, looking forward to an Ahmed Thompson sighting as well. It seems like he's going to be back up to Fred VanVleet. Fred's going to get most of the minutes, but I think Coach Udoka will figure out a way to include Ahmed, because I wonder if we will compare him to his brother all season. It's kind of unfair to do that, but I think it's only natural to do it as well.
Yeah, but I think that Ahmed will have more visibility than his brother.
Okay.
because of the
Okay.
Houston Rockets, because of Ime Udoka, because of the emerging talent and the opportunity that this roster has to move up in the standings. I think we may see more of him in the end. So yeah.
Okay. All
There's a
right.
few things that I will be looking for in this game in particular, from the Rockets, but also throughout the season. And will they accept the defensive requirements that Ime Udoka will be putting on this roster, right? Because that's going to be one of the things that they can improve in for this upcoming season. And will they own the requirements that Ime Udoka is going to actually tell them to do? That's because that's what it is, right? I mean, if you've watched how Ime Udoka helped shape the defense, enhance the defense of the Boston Celtics, why wouldn't he want to do the same thing? Because it was successful. Why
Yes.
wouldn't he want to do the same thing for the Houston Rockets? And will they be able to accept that? Will the chemistry of the Houston Rockets be enough to help sustain a successful season? We're talking about inserting Fred VanVleet into this core. We're talking about inserting Jeff Green into the core, Dylan Brooks into the core. What will that look like? Will the chemistry be there enough for them to, create these wins and to improve their standings in the Western Conference? So those are the things
Mhm.
I'm looking for. Those can be challenges, and if they're not properly managed, they'll find themselves back at the bottom of the conference. And I don't see why this team would do that for the 2024 season.
No, they have way too much talent. Yeah.
That's my point, right?
Way
But
too much.
they can improve on their defense. They can improve on their defense, and I think that Coach Ime Udoka probably was brought in to really help with that.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Another thing along those lines too, we talked about it in the off season. I'm like, well, what is going to be their identity? What does that look like with this group of guys? We're not talking about Jason, Jalen, Marcus Smart, and Al
No,
Horford. And
no,
we're talking
exactly.
about Dylan Fred, Jabari Smith, Alperen Sengun, Jalen Green. We're talking about a whole different group of players.
Yep.
What is their identity going to be in their first season together?
Exactly, exactly. Which leads to the chemistry I talked about earlier. What will
Hmm.
that be for this particular roster? So yeah, I agree with that. So that's something that I'm looking for in this game and see if it comes to pass. But most definitely, as the Houston Rockets play throughout the season, I want to see how that's shaped. For the Orlando Magic, though, the challenge, not from a defensive perspective, will the Orlando Magic become a better team this season in managing in protecting the ball? Because they were known to, or they are known to, do a lot of turnovers. Will the Rockets exploit that in this first matchup that they have? And will that be the catalyst to have the Rockets win this particular matchup? Will the Orlando Magic now know that that's a challenge that they had in the past where they turned the ball over a lot? Can they now, have more control with, holding the ball, owning the ball, and making sure that they don't turn the ball over? I'm looking to see that. So this first matchup really for me is just one game of 82, right? But that one game of 82 should be enough for me to say, oh, I see some changes. Oh, okay, they're doing this a little bit different than they did last season. Because the Orlando Magic made minor changes to their roster. They added Joe Ingles, they added Anthony Black. But Joe Ingles is the one for me, and especially when we're talking about snipers. Now, another thing the Orlando Magic can do is improve on their 3-point shooting. So hopefully Joe Ingles can come in and help with that. Because he was with the Utah Jazz and he got injured, and Utah Jazz said, "See ya."
Ooh,
So now
yeah.
he's with Orlando Magic, quite naturally, probably coming off the bench. But can he come off the bench and do in his production on 3-point shooting? Can that really help improve their overall percentage for the Orlando Magic? So let's see.
Yes, yes. And I'm keeping my eye on Bonchero because I'm
Yeah.
like, sometimes you get a little cocky when you win rookie of the year. So we'll see. We'll see if he's able to, to overcome that, kind of put that behind him and try to get somebody, maybe a most improved player. I don't know, sophomore season, whatever.
You know what
And
though?
then
Really, if Banchero doesn't do anything else, can he help lead the Orlando Magic out of the bottom of the conference? For me, that's what they need. Can can
yes,
can we still can y'all now get out of the bottom of the conference? Can you now receive more televised games next season? Can we now make sure that more eyes are watching the Orlando Magic? Can we do that?
yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I remember when Jalen Suggs came into the NBA, we were like, oh, yeah, this guy just
Yeah.
came off winning a national championship in college and stuff. He came to the Orlando Magic and kind of, we didn't hear nothing from him. think he was injured a lot.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm looking to see if he can, really kind of redeem himself a little bit because where I had him placed in my mind as an NBA player, he did not achieve that to me. So maybe with this group of players and another year in the
Mm-hmm.
NBA playing for a team that's probably going to be really competitive this season,
Yeah.
we'll see more from Jalen Suggs.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward also to seeing the matchup between Michael Folks and Fred VanVleet.
Oh,
What
yeah,
what what we talking about?
yeah.
What is that gonna give me? I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it because Folks he had his challenges that when he came into the league as well. But
Yes.
now he's back and balling, and can he carry that on for the 2024 season? I can't wait to see it. Okay.
All
All
right.
right. So the matchup between the Houston Rockets and the Orlando Magic, who you got winning this game?
Ooh, okay. Well, I think the Houston Rockets cannot afford to start the season slow.
Mm,
All eyes on them with their brand new coach, Ime Udoka. So I got the Rockets winning this game.
I have the Houston Rockets as well,
Hmm.
but it will not be an easy win. They're gonna have to fight for it because Orlando Magic is coming to play.